everything we're about to tell you is real. This isn't, made up or some sort of, whatever for YouTube to get more clicks and views and whatever. It's not. So we want to talk to you guys about what happened to us, and no, it's not going to be embellished. It's not going to be anything. This is real life. This is what happened to us. This is what kind of, I don't want to say ruined our dream, but put a major speed bump in the path to our full-time to RV life. And honestly, this could happen to anybody. And especially right now with all of this COVID mess, with all of the financial difficulty that people are going to be having, that are having and going to be continuing to have post-COVID, once people do get back to work and once all of those forbearances and stuff like that that people have on their mortgage and their rent and everything come due, the mortgage companies, the lenders, all of those people, they're not your friends.
So for those of you that have been around in the last year for our 1 year to full-time RV life journey, you know that we met our goal plus 1 week to sell our house, pick out our RV, and all of those things. We met our goal. We were super excited. What we didn't tell you in the last couple of weeks is that while our house was in escrow, we had already chosen the RV that we wanted to buy. We had put a deposit on it. It was being held for us in Indiana. Tomorrow, for us, today, well, if you're watching this video on Monday when we post it, Jonathan should have been driving up in front of our house with the new RV tomorrow or Monday. And that's not happening now. So
yeah, in fact, if you guys remember last week when we did the video last week, Lynn and I had talked about, this week's video was going to be talking about the different kinds of RVs. Well, Lynn and I had already planned on recording that video on Tuesday because I was supposed to leave on Wednesday with my dad to drive out to Indiana to buy the RV.
To pick up, we already had the price negotiated, everything. We were gonna get a cashier's check on Tuesday. Yep. Escrow closed Monday. We were gonna get a cashier's check for the RV and pay cash for it 100%. Jonathan was leaving on Wednesday to drive to Indiana and then drive back the RV. And as you can tell, that didn't happen.
We're not in an RV right now.
Well, you're here instead of driving back with the RV.
That's true, yeah.
And behind us, the boxes and everything that you see behind us in what was our dining room are now going to be moved to an apartment that we had to rush and rent last week in the midst of all of this. Okay, so what happened? How did we lose $135,000 in 1 day? Monday, our escrow closed on our house sale. The sale of our house, escrow closed on Monday. Monday night, our realtor called us and said, you guys are now renters because we were doing a rent back on our house while we moved into the RV. You guys are now renters, congratulations. So we were super happy Monday night. Tuesday, we were supposed to get the money from our house sale wired into our account, which would have been the money plus more for Jonathan to pay cash for the RV. Tuesday comes around, Jonathan goes to work, starts getting phone calls saying, you're only getting less than half of the money that you were supposed to get from the house. We don't know what happened. We're trying to figure it out. Mind you, he's getting calls from escrow. He's getting calls from the title company, our realtor. Nobody knows what happened to the $135,000. So he calls me in a panic. I'm not one to panic. So my first thought was, well, maybe they're just gonna do it like in a separate deposit. Maybe it was just, it's a mistake, they'll figure it out. So I get up, I start making phone calls to the mortgage company, and because he's at work and he can't be on the phone all day, so I start making phone calls. Nobody can quite figure it out, and I'm still in the back of my mind thinking, they're gonna figure this out, we're gonna get the money. I'm not freaking out yet. I'm like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. It wasn't. Turns out 2 years ago, we did a refinance for our home loan, which was instigated by our mortgage company. Our mortgage company, not an outside company saying you should refi. Our mortgage company suggested interest rates are lower. You could do a refi, you can save interest, you can get a lower payment, all that kind of thing. So we did it. We went through the process. It takes a couple of months. During the time that we were doing the refi, they said, you don't have to make any house payments during this time because we're going to roll it all into this new refi. We've never owned a house before. We're like, they're our mortgage company. It's like, you trust them. They're your mortgage company, right? So we were on conference calls together. So it's not like one of us missed something and the other one didn't hear it or something like that. They sent us various papers. We sent it, all the things. If you've ever refied a house, there's all this. It's like buying a house again. It's all this paperwork. We need pay stubs. We need this. We need that. So we go back and forth, back and forth. We get the refinance approved. We start making the new payment, which is lower. The interest rate's lower. So we're like, okay, cool. We don't think anything about it. This is 2 years ago. Haven't thought about it since then. Then this year, COVID hits. Jonathan and I both get furloughed from work. Then we find out from our mortgage company, oh, hey, don't worry about COVID. We're doing forbearances. You don't even have to apply. We're just doing forbearances for all of our mortgage customers if they need it. No paperwork necessary. We're going to do a 3-month forbearance. You don't have to make payments. And then they, without even telling us, which turned out fine, but they didn't tell us, they extended it to 6 months because we thought the 3 months was up in July. And so I had called them in July and said, hey, it's coming up. What do we have to do? And they said, oh no, we already extended it to 6 months. Your next payment, house payment's not due till October 1st. So I was like, okay. In the meantime, we had already planned last summer to sell the house this summer. So we stuck to our plan. And better for us, turns out, because we ended up getting more money this year than we got appraised for last year from the house. So we were super excited about that. And we thought, okay, everything's falling into place. Escrow is kind of a pain in the ass, like you guys know if you've seen our videos. But eventually it worked out. We were all excited. Like we said, we put the deposit on the RV. We were gonna move right from the house into the RV. We were all ready to go. Turns out what we thought was a refinance wasn't actually a refinance. We don't even know what to call it because it depends who you talk to. Our neighbors are one of them's a financial advisor, the other one works in the mortgage industry. My brother-in-law's a lawyer. We've talked to all these people about it. Some people have said that what they did is they tricked us into a reverse mortgage. If you know what that is, it basically takes part of the amount you owe and puts it at the end, which nobody would do at our age.
And then the other thing that actually the title company, and finally when I got somebody that was somewhat honest from the mortgage company on the phone, what they explained to me was they did what's called a loan modification. And what that basically did was take a chunk of the principal of our loan and they sold it to a different company.
To a third party. So we didn't know that.
Yeah.
That wasn't, and I've looked back at the paperwork, it wasn't in the paperwork, hey, we're selling this principal to this third party company. So that's the $135,000 we lost. Our mortgage company, unbeknownst to us, sold $135,000 of our principal to a third party company and didn't tell us. And so when they did the title search, everything was fine. When escrow did everything they did, escrow closed, everything was fine. Nobody knew this was coming. And then when they went to cut the check or send the wire transfer to us for the money we should have made from the house, it was minus that $135,000 because the title company had to pay, or I guess it was the title company had to pay this third party $135,000 that we knew nothing about.
Yeah.
Since all of this has happened, we lost literally over 100, was like 135,000 and change that we did not know was out there. No one knew. Escrow, real estate agent, title, no one knew until the last second. Tuesday, we were devastated when we found out there's nothing we could do.
I think at one point, literally, I was texting back and forth with Lynn, and there was a moment where I was at work in a meeting, and we were just wrapping up the meeting, and her text to me was literally what just caused me to almost break down in the meeting, which was, she said, sorry that there's pretty much nothing they can do.
I had called everybody, and no one even knew like what to say.
No.
all of these kind of things. So then when Jonathan came home from work, he came home from work a little bit early because he was really upset. But I still wasn't freaking out. So when he came home, I said, look, because we already put a deposit on this RV. I said, call the RV place. We didn't want to finance any part of the RV. We wanted to pay cash for it because we wanted to know that we owned it outright and weren't going to have any payments. But I said, you know what? Just call them and go through the financing. Then you can still leave tomorrow. We'll still get the RV. We'll just have a payment for a while. We can, make double payments or whatever in the meantime, but let's just do that.
Yeah.
Jonathan couldn't call the finance department at the RV place on Tuesday because by the time he got home and they're in Indiana, they were already closed.
But I did call my friend Chad, and if you guys, I'm gonna just do a quick plug here. If you guys are looking for an RV, Chad Rothrock from Total Value RV in Indiana, he's a buddy of mine. Call him. He's an amazing, amazing guy. He kind of walked me through some of the process, and he said, but I've got to talk to the finance guy first thing in the morning on Wednesday morning, and that's what I did. But
so Jonathan calls the finance place, takes the day off Wednesday, calls and tells his boss, I'm not coming in on Wednesday. Tells him what happened. His boss totally understands. So he doesn't go to work Wednesday. He calls first thing in the morning here, right when the finance department opens there, and talks to the finance guy and says, look, I just want to finance the rest, da 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 da. So the guy says, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. You don't have missed payments, right? And Jonathan's like, no, I don't have missed payments. And I'm telling him, no, you shouldn't. And because we track that stuff all the time. We've been tracking it like crazy, especially in the last year. Well, second kick in the pants, he does have late payments from our mortgage company. During the refinance, they told us don't pay while we're doing this paperwork. We're gonna roll that into the new payment or whatever. So we didn't. We banked that money because we, just in case, if something wasn't approved or whatever, we had banked those house payments. But then when they refied the loan and we didn't need to make them, we just kept that in savings. And they reported those as late payments. So yes, late payments from when we refinanced the mortgage company. That wasn't supposed to happen. They reported those payments during their process as late payments. Okay, well that was 2 years ago. They become less important as time goes on, right? So, nope. For those of you on a COVID forbearance, watch your back. I know a lot of them are coming due October 1st. Those of you that did 6 months like my sister and a lot of our neighbors are coming due on October 1st. The whole thing with the government was COVID forbearances aren't going to count against your credit. COVID forbearances don't hurt you at all. It's the government's way of helping you. It's your mortgage company. We're telling your mortgage companies to help you. All these things, right?
nope, because when I talked to the finance guy from Total Value RV, he asked me, he says, are you on a forbearance? And I went, yes. And he said, nope, automatically disqualifies you from getting a mortgage, or not a mortgage, but getting a loan for an RV.
Yeah, so when we ran his credit, we have credit monitoring, didn't run his credit, but so we looked up that night Jonathan's credit.
That's also when we discovered the late payments
from
that
2
they
years
hadn't
ago.
fixed either. So yeah.
So now he has late payments. Hey! Jonathan now has late payments on his credit for the mortgage when we weren't late.
Yeah.
So, and the COVID that wasn't supposed to affect your credit, isn't supposed to hurt you,
Nope.
isn't supposed to be reported anywhere because it's a government thing, blah, 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 exactly, blah, blah, blah. Every one of those payments is reported as not even a late payment now. Those are reported on his credit as missed payments.
Yeah.
Which is worse than a late payment.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. We lost our dream RV.
Yep.
And we lost $135,000.
Yep.
Overnight, literally overnight. We got to a point Wednesday where we ran around Wednesday, we found an apartment, filled out the paperwork, rented the apartment, did the paperwork, and I'm still nervous about that because we're supposed to get the final, we got approved for the apartment and all that. I didn't think that would be a problem, but I'm I'm still nervous that somehow at the last minute they're going to say we can't have this apartment just because of what just it's like PTSD over what just happened to us. So even though we're supposed to move into our new apartment, one bedroom apartment, by the way, to save money more towards the RV, we're supposed to move next Sunday. We're supposed to get the keys and sign papers next Sunday. And I'm nervous because we thought everything was a done deal with the house and we got screwed.
And so now I'm with the RV.
And everything with the RV. And everything has just, we have been screwed. I could be really rude about it, but I'm not going to be rude.
Yeah.
But we have been so, just everything fell apart this week. And for any of you out there, we just, we didn't really want to talk about this because, first of all, we feel dumb. We never owned a house before. We trusted our mortgage company. They were our mortgage company. It's like trusting your lawyer. I mean, at least to us, it was like you trust them. They hold your loan. Like you would think they have your best interest at heart. Apparently that is completely untrue. We didn't know that. Like, we are trusting people. We don't like, we're not shady people. So we
had no reason not to trust them. I mean, we thought they had our best interest at mind,
because they contacted us about the refinance. They took care of the COVID thing without us even asking. We thought they were doing the best thing for us.
Yeah. And it turns out not so much.
Totally not true. So any of you out there, if you know anybody or if you're on a COVID forbearance for your mortgages, please check your credit scores.
Yeah.
Check your credit and see if you're getting reported as missed payments or late payments, because it screws you. And that's what it did to us. So not only did we lose $135,000, but then we lost the good credit score and the ability to even finance the rest of the RV, which we would have been able to do if it hadn't been for those house payments.
Yeah, and if any of you guys have done any sort of...
no late, nothing.
No. And if any of you guys have, like we kind of started to say in the beginning, but if any of you guys have had any kind of refis, anything that, could be, hey, kind of suspicious, even if not, call your mortgage companies and make sure you don't have a second mortgage. Make sure you don't have a balloon payment
or any kind of weird thing. But the hard thing,
anything,
but I don't even know how you would find that out, to be honest, because this third-party loan doesn't show up on Jonathan's credit.
Nope.
Didn't show on the title search.
Nope.
Didn't show up anywhere. So, it doesn't show up anywhere until the money went through escrow and closed and was supposed to come to us. We know nothing about it. And you would think if they sold part of your principal to someone else, that would show up on your credit as like another loan or like a second mortgage or something, right? Nothing. Didn't show up anywhere.
Yeah.
And still doesn't.
Yeah. So what I would recommend is for those of you guys that coming out of COVID, coming out of, not missing payments, not being able to pay your homes and stuff like that.
Or on your rents. Like if make sure if you're doing forbearance on your rents, because I know a lot of people in California haven't been paying rent because they did that rent freeze or whatever. Make sure your landlords aren't reporting your rent as late, because what can happen then is not only does it affect your credit, but we were talking to the apartment manager over at the apartment that we're going to be moving into, and she's saying that some apartments are reporting those as missed payments to apartments to a landlord. So if that shows up on your credit and then you go try to rent a different place, you won't be able to rent.
Nope.
Because it looks like you screwed another landlord and you won't be able to rent.
Yeah.
So you guys, we just want everyone to know, this happened to us. We feel dumb. Please don't comment below and tell us how stupid we are. We already feel dumb about it. It's been a really tough week, but we want to warn you guys.
Yeah. Like we said before, though, and the fact is, it's not just us. Now that talking to the title company and other people,
and our neighbor who's a financial,
this is happening, guys. This
keeps happening to people. As the title company told us after talking to them, and they did everything they could to try to help us.
They were really great in trying to help us.
They were even going to try to give us that money and then have us deal with a third party company on our own, but legally they weren't allowed to do that. But they were going to try. They said people are getting screwed.
Yeah.
Their words. People are getting screwed. We're seeing this more and more as people are selling their houses, coming out of COVID, forbearances, things like that. Yeah. So guys, please watch out for yourselves. Yep. Please check your credit scores, check your credit history. Not just on a credit monitoring system, but actually you can get a free copy of your credit report once a year from Equifax and TransUnion stuff. get that free copy, because that's more detailed than like a Credit Karma or like whatever. It shows like all the details. And
verify everything on there,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to, you know, anything that has to do with a house or a mortgage or anything like that. Check all of that, because if you go to sell your house, let's not even say sell your house. Let's say, you know, you guys bought your house, you're going to rent it, whatever. 30 years down the road, you're about to have your house paid off. Guess what?
It might not be.
You might have this other $100 and some odd thousand. For us, if we had gotten all the way to pay off our mortgage, at the end of our mortgage, that $135,000 would have been due, and we would have had now a new mortgage to start paying.
If we hadn't been able to sell our house for so much more than what we owed, we'd somehow owe this money.
We could have been in the negative
and not own a house anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had known this going in, we would not have sold our house.
No.
Like, we wouldn't have until we figured that out and then got that taken care of, and then we would have sold the house. Yeah. So there's nothing we can do now. Escrow's closed. We are officially renting this house for $100 a day, which is a lot of money.
Until we can get out of here.
Until we can get out. Luckily, we were able to find that apartment. We got approved with the dogs and everything. We're supposed to move in next Sunday, but like I said, like after everything that's happened, I'm waiting for somehow, like, we were nagging the poor apartment manager. She's probably tired of us, and we haven't even moved in yet. We're like, are you sure? Like, do we need to sign anything else? How much money do you need? Like, how do you need it? Like, can we bring it tomorrow? Like, blah, blah, blah. We just wanted, like...
We just wanted to make sure,
because after what happened, we don't trust anything.
Yeah.
And we're worried, you know, like, literally we were going to be homeless. And the mortgage company felt for us. We're like, you guys don't seem to understand. What you guys just did is you made us homeless, because now the house, basically our RV, which was our house we were going to buy, we cannot buy or finance because of you, and we are literally homeless. So now what? Now what are we going to do?
So now,
and their answer was,
sorry,
not sorry. Like, you know, that's just the way it is. Like we said, we wanted to do this video. It's kind of embarrassing. We got to a point this week where family knew what happened, but then, you know, more family finds out, things like that, and we just got to a point where neither one of us wanted to talk about it anymore. We felt so, and I still feel, deceived, taken advantage of, screwed. I don't know, you could say it 100 different ways. And it just got to a point where we didn't even want to talk about it anymore. Even my own sister, I had called her to tell her what happened. I called my daughter, Ashlyn, and told her what was going on. But then, you know, more people find out, and then people are texting you and they want to talk to you. And it's not that, you know, so all of you guys that have texted us, all of you that have messaged us, thank you so much for your thoughts and prayers. We really do appreciate it. It's been a really hard week. And
for those of you that we didn't get back to, we apologize for not getting back to you. Hopefully you guys understand. Hopefully you guys will see this video.
And if not, like, we're slowly getting back to people now, that it's not as raw as it was at the beginning of the week when all of this happened. But it's
because I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even gonna hide it. You know, on Tuesday from the point that I got home, and part of the day on Wednesday, you know, both of us had all of the emotions going through us. I mean, I was in tears because I realized, you know, that our dream of having our RV,
we did everything right in the last year
away.
To plan for exactly what we wanted to do, and we got screwed. So that's the story of our how we lost $135,000 and our dream RV overnight. For those of you out there planning this kind of thing, or like Jonathan said, if you own a house or you're renting or anything like that, please check your credit. Please check your extended credit reports. Make sure that there's no late payments or missed payments on there that shouldn't be, especially for mortgages or rents. Just, you know, watch out for yourself. Don't get surprised like we were. Don't get, you know, at the last minute, because we could have, like, if we had found out about this the week before, we could have pulled out of the sale of the house.
We might have lost a little bit of money, like a deposit or something, but not really. I mean,
no, because we weren't the ones putting the deposit. We had the right to pull out until the last minute of the sale of our house, and honestly,
we might have.
We probably would have if we'd known this was going to happen. But it is what it is. And now the journey is taking a new direction. So like we said, we are going from 1,600 square feet in this townhouse to a 700 square feet, 1-bedroom apartment. We're doing that intentionally so that because 2 reasons. One, we gave everything away.
Yeah.
So we really don't have furniture for anything bigger than that anyway, because we really sold or gave all of our furniture away. So that's the other problem that we have, is we gave away and sold everything we thought we didn't need and some of the things we now need. So that hurts too, because now we've had to buy some new things, which we didn't plan on having to do. We got free nightstands, or not nightstands. We had given away our end tables from our couch. And on the same site that we gave ours away, somebody else was giving some away. And so we got free end tables that we just repainted, and, or Jonathan actually did all the work, repainted and refurbished. So we got, now we have end tables for the living room, but we don't have like a dining room. Like our dining room's empty. We gave away all of our dining room chairs. We gave away all these things, and we don't have it anymore.
But it's okay, because
so we were moving into a 700 square foot apartment, and it is what it is. We're trying to look at the bright side, and we're looking at it like it's an opportunity to live smaller than we've been living.
We're gonna save some money.
Save money. Kind of our next step. Sunday we start moving into the apartment. We have 5 days to move into the apartment, thank God, because it's been over 100 degrees here, and it's just horrendous to even be outside for a minute.
Yeah.
On the upside, we don't have that much furniture to move. We don't even need to rent a truck or anything, because the biggest thing we have to move is our bed, which is a king size mattress and bed frame.
Upside is, we had to get a new refrigerator for the apartment, because it's a tiny little apartment size refrigerator.
Well, part of the sale of this house was that we leave our refrigerator here, and because it's in the kitchen, and that was part of the sale, and so we had to buy a new refrigerator. So we bought, we found one on sale yesterday. I ordered it, and it's nothing great, but it's like kind of like the size we're going to end up with. Like it's the residential fridge, but it's kind of like the size we're going to end up with in the RV anyway. But we didn't want to spend $1,200 on a new fridge that we're only gonna, we signed a 7-month lease on this apartment, which is, I know it seems weird, but they had 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the price changed.
Yeah, and the best deal was on 7 months actually.
Lease, which is really weird. So we have a 7-month lease with the apartment, really weird. So we didn't want to spend $1,200 on a fridge that, if things work out the way we hope they will only be there 7 months, and then we can finance the rest of the RV. But yeah, so I hope you guys understand this video. I feel like we're all over the place right now. We've been this way all week. It's been tough.
I do want to say a couple thank yous. I already mentioned one. Chad Rothrock from Total Value RV. Again, if you guys are looking for an RV, honestly, one of the coolest dudes. The most honest salesman. He was straightforward, told me everything, and super willing to try and help us out. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
And is giving back our deposit, which is
huge. They're giving back our deposit. Secondly, Frank Abbadessa of Remax Realty here in Southern California. If you're looking to sell your house, or you want to buy a house, Frank has been our realtor. He's been our friend for a long time.
He sold us this house.
Yeah.
Like he represented us when we bought. He represented us when we bought this house. And then he represented us when we sold this house. And he even called, yesterday?
Yeah, he went above and beyond and called title, called escrow, called everybody.
Yeah.
And actually got us some of the information that we're using, for this video, to kind of explain more about what happened. But even he said, he didn't really...
He even called to say, I can't believe this. I'm so sorry, you guys. So yeah, if you need any real estate help in the Southern California area, Frank Abbadessa, Lynn will put all their social medias and Instagrams and whatever emails in the comments below. But yeah, those two people have been a huge help to all the people from University Escrow and the title company, everybody that, if you guys ever get a chance to see this, thank you for trying to help us. We appreciate you. To our mortgage company, we're not going to, we're not going to say your name here, because then, that's going to be a thing, and they're going to want to come after us or whatever for saying their name. But we're going to be coming after you. We already have appointments set up with lawyers, so we will be coming after you if you guys are wondering. Yes, we are going to try that route.
Yeah, because we honestly believe that this falls under the category of predatory loan. And for those of you guys that know what a predatory loan is, we really feel that we were taken. We got taken
advantage of, and we don't want this to happen to anybody else.
And the last person I want to say thank you to is my dad, because my dad has had all of the emotions with us too. My dad took extra days off from work to go with me, and he ended up having to give up those days, and because he had already gotten paid out for them. He made it sound like he was okay with it, but I do feel bad that he ended up having to take those extra days off when I know that he could have used those for a better vacation or something like that. So I really want to thank him for being willing to go with me, and then when it didn't work out, for still supporting us.
And my sister, for listening, and I know you're as bummed as we are. I know you're kind of happy we're staying for now, but thanks for listening. Thanks for being there. I love you.
Yeah.
And just all of our family, thank you for the support. Ashlyn, if you're watching this, I miss you. Come back from Utah soon.
Yeah.
And I guess that's about it. Just watch your backs, guys. We don't want this to happen to anybody else. Whether you're looking to do the RV thing like we were or not, we just don't want this to happen to somebody else. And our journey continues in a new direction. We're gonna, like we said, move into an apartment for 7 months, make the most of it. And if you know anybody, if you're in our area and you know anybody giving away free furniture, let us know, because we now, after we gave away so much of our stuff and to other people, now we need stuff. So if you know anybody that is getting rid of some stuff, let us know, and it might be something that we need.
Maybe. I don't think we need too much furniture, though.
I even gave away or sold all of our picture frames because we weren't going to take glass picture frames into the RV, so now I have all these family photos that were up in the house that I can't put back up without buying new frames, and I'm not going to spend all that money on new picture frames. But just things like that we didn't think were going to be a thing, And then yesterday we packed up everything behind us. You see is going to the apartment. Originally there was a different stack behind us, and that was a stack of things that were going into the RV. So in the last 2 days, we've packaged up everything that we had to go in, specifically to go into the RV, gizmos and gadgets and things just specifically for the RV. We've boxed them up. They are now in storage waiting for
the RV.
Someday at the RV. In the meantime, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. Watch your backs. Share this video if you think it can help somebody else. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and you can see us on our new journey as we work through all of this mess and still work towards our RV dream. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. So, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, so we're okay. We're gonna get through it. It is what it is. Things happen for a reason, and we're gonna get through it. So, like we said, thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Wash your hands, check your credit.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.